Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. This is a regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment for February 4th, 2026. Notice has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting a copy of the notice on the first floor of the municipal building and sending a copy to the Montclair Times, Star Ledger, and Herald News. This is a public hearing in which any members of the public are welcome to attend. The meeting agenda is available on the Montclair website, as is a link to the township's YouTube channel where the hearing can be viewed live or after the fact. The hearing is also being televised on Channel 34. And our first order of business is to discuss the request from Mr. Trembulac for a special meeting in March. As you know, the agenda changed today, so 4 of the applications we had scheduled are not able to proceed because Mr. Trembulac wasn't feeling well, so he sends his apologies for that change in the schedule, but he did request that a special meeting be scheduled for the hearing for application 2932 120 Watchung Avenue for applicants Jarnail Singh and Novdeep Singh Sandhu. So I will open up.
Well, I think that if we're going to have to take a vote on this,
Yeah,
Right.
I think.
so we'll need to
yes.
do the roll call.
Okay, I will do roll call first.
Yes.
Chair McCullough.
Here.
Vice Chair Simon is not present. Mr. Caulfield.
Here.
Mr. Church.
Here.
Ms. Harris is not yet present. Mr. Moore is not present. Mr. Vieira.
Here.
Ms. Grant is not present. Mr. Griffith.
Here.
And Mr. Cruz is not present, but he said he will be arriving later. Mr. Sullivan?
Yeah, so I'm here. So, yeah, I think the first order of business should be that 120 Watchung Avenue application and the request for a special meeting. The special meetings is going to be one of the first 3 Wednesdays in March, and I think, Zainab, you would prefer it be one of the first 2, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody have a position?
Question. Is it standard practice to have a special meeting for one thing? It seems unusual to me.
It's not particularly unusual. And when we say it's just one thing, it's one that we anticipate is going to take several hours to hear. So in the past, not so much in recent history, but we have had special meetings with the Montclair Zoning Board, and the way we do it is exactly what we're doing now, discussing it to get a date that we think we're going to have enough bodies for, and then setting it, then it gets noticed under the Open Public Meetings Act, and then we'll carry that application to that new date. So it's not unusual in other boards either.
Yeah, okay, fine. I just didn't know.
Yeah,
And,
we don't make a habit of it, but, yeah.
Well, if it's going to be a long process and there's a lot of people that need to speak, then
That
it makes
application
sense.
is, we anticipate involving the public and a number of witnesses on behalf of the applicant. And the record should reflect that Mr. Moore is now present.
Yeah, I think of the 3 dates, I think those are the 4th, the 11th, and the 18th. if I'm
Correct.
not- So the 11th would be difficult for me personally. So if our secretary prefers either of the first 2, then the 4th would be my preference. But the 18th is also available. How do other board members feel?
Same. I have a conflict also on the 11th, so I won't be. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the motion is to set a special meeting of the Montclair Zoning Board on March 4, 2026 at 7 PM here. And as part of that motion, the application of 120 Watchung Avenue, Jarnail Singh and Novdeep Singh Sandhu, application number 2932 would be carried to that March, date is that again? 4th date, without further notice.
Yep.
All right, just before we vote then, just want to make sure that Mr. Moore is aware of what we're doing here. So we had a request, some of the applications scheduled for this evening had to be rescheduled. One in particular, there's been a request for a special meeting to handle that application since it will be, we anticipate that it will be a lengthy discussion. And so it appears as though that the board is inclined towards the 4th of March for scheduling that meeting. So we want to make sure you're aware of that before we actually take the vote.
Okay.
All right, okay. All right, we've heard then that we should have a motion to schedule this special meeting on March the 4th to hear application 2932, 120 Watchung Avenue. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. So that is scheduled then for
Yes.
the 4th.
Yeah, and
of
again,
March.
there's no further public notice on that.
And that's March 4th, 2026 at 7 PM.
Okay.
All right, thank you. We have some more announcements to the change of agenda for tonight. So, application number 2949 for address 30 Club Road, and applicant Satoru Ogama has been postponed to February 18th, 2026 at 7 PM without the need for further public notice. Application number 2955 for 340 Orange Road and the Montclair Senior Housing Corporation has also been postponed to March 25th, 2026 at 7 PM without the need for further public notice. Application number 2956 for 6 to 10 Erie Street and applicant BDP 6 to 10 Erie LLC has been postponed to March 25th, 2026 at 7 PM without need for further public notice. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I think the next item then would be the approval of the minutes from our January 21st meeting. I don't have any corrections to those minutes. Does anyone else have any corrections to the minutes?
No.
Okay. Would someone move then that the minutes be approved?
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? They are approved. Thank you. Then we have this item, resolutions. We don't have any resolutions in this particular category, am I correct? All right. So then we'll turn to old business. We'll ask our secretary to guide us through the old business in terms of the extension requests that are before us.
So the first approval extension request is for application number 2855 for 41 Prospect Avenue, applicants Adam and Mara Weinstein. So they are requesting a one-year extension, and they've also made a change to their plan, which is in response to the resolution that we previously issued. So the board, when approving it, asked them to look into and contract an arborist to assess if the carport would interfere with the mature trees that they have on their property. They contracted an arborist. They found out that it would impact the trees, and instead of moving it, because they didn't find that a logical solution based on their rear property lines, they decided to eliminate the carport from their application. So this is a reduced scope application that they're requesting a one-year variance on.
Extension.
One-year variance extension.
All right. Other questions? All right, would someone move the approval of the extension?
I'll move the approval.
Second.
Is there a second? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? It is approved.
And then the second variance approval extension request is for application number 2898 for property at 50 Gordonhurst Avenue, applicants David Gaines and Jill Beckman. This is approval that was issued in November 2024. They weren't able to get started on the work due to unforeseen circumstances, so they are requesting a one-year variance extension for the approval.
So there are no changes other than the
No.
timing?
Yes.
Okay. Questions?
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a
their-
second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is voted. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Then we're going to move to new business. And this will be application 2948, 51 Elm Street, St. Mark's United Methodist Church. And this is property that's located in the R3 Gardens Group Zone District, designated on the township tax maps as Lot 20 and Block 3112. Variances requested are from Montclair Code 347-109.1B to permit a historic marker sign mounted 8 feet above grade, where 6 feet is the maximum height permitted, and from Montclair Code 347-109.1D to permit a historic marker sign measuring 14 square feet, where 2 square feet is the permitted maximum. The applicant also seeks other variances that may be required.
Thank you. I'll just note for the record that Mr. Cruz arrived at 7:15 PM.
And proper notice was given for this application?
Yes, public notice was given and taxes are up to date.
All right. All right, who will be representing this application? Please come forward and,
And while you're getting settled in, Zana, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth in the matter pending before the board?
I do.
Just state your name and position with the township.
Zenab Gazmi, Assistant Planner.
Okay, would you both raise your right hands? Do you swear to tell the truth in the matter pending before the board? State your name and address. Let's make sure that microphone is on.
there's a button there on the, yeah.
Unfortunately, only one.
Yes, you can sit.
Take a seat. This will be, let's see, I'll give you this one. Okay.
So we were at the names and addresses part.
Betty Holloway, 141 Lincoln Street, Montclair.
Esther Canty Barnes, 125 Gates Avenue, Unit 7, Montclair, New Jersey.
Okay, and you're presenting this application on behalf of St. Mark's, is that right?
Yes.
Welcome. Please tell us what you're wanting to do.
Okay. Good evening, Chairman and members of the board. I am here tonight regarding a marker on the New Jersey Black Heritage Trail established by state legislation in 2022. We are seeking a dimensional variance to install an official Black Heritage Trail marker at 51 Elm Street. The marker in question is part of a coordinated statewide effort to document and honor contributions of Black citizens to our history. The 14 square foot signage is the program's universal standard. Reducing the size to 2 square feet would render the educational text illegible, eliminate necessary historical context, and separate our township from a significant statewide cultural network. We believe the public benefit of this installation constitutes a special reason that far outweighs any perceived detriment to the zoning plan. If you are not familiar with St. Mark's United Methodist Church, now referred to as The Mark, I'd like to share a few slides to provide a brief overview of why our site application was selected and what the signage would look like once installed.
Okay, so this is akin to a PowerPoint presentation. These have not been submitted in advance, correct? How many slides are you going to show?
Maybe about 5.
Okay,
Or
so we-
maybe 6.
Okay, so 5 or 6 slides. We'll just collectively mark this presentation as Exhibit A1.
The building on the left was constructed and occupied in 1836 when the Fourth Methodist Church in Bloomfield recognized the growth and potential it sought to be a part of in the fast-developing community, then called West Bloomfield, now we know as Montclair. It was the first church building and school in Montclair, known as First Methodist Episcopal Church, where reading, writing, arithmetic, and religion were taught. Through hard work and dedication, it became our church, St. Mark's Methodist Episcopal Church, when leaders negotiated a buying price. On the right is the parsonage built in 1895, a Queen Anne-styled home, which occupied the appointment of the new minister in that same year that we were also incorporated in the state of New Jersey. That building still stands and is a Montclair Township historic parcel. The building owners were granted a variance by this committee on condition that a pedestrian-friendly marker be installed. The Queen Anne-style house was deemed important in the architectural landscape of the township. The pedestrian-friendly marker identifies the occupants, thus establishing our longevity in this community. On this fatal morning of Good Friday, April 4th, 1947, the pride and progress of the congregants were challenged by a devastating fire. In this building, the Boy Scout Troops Number 20 was formed, and in 1905, Reverend John Blake met with community members to organize a YMCA program for African American men and boys. The Great Migration was in full order at that particular time. Alice Huey Foster, a member of this church, and I am sure was celebrated by this community when she became the first African American to graduate from Montclair High School in 1894. She returned home after 4 years at Howard University and 2 years teaching to help with the family business, a newspaper and tobacco store at the corner of Bloomfield and Glenridge Avenue. You will know that building now because the Montclair Savings Bank is written right on the side. It was big business gobbling up small businesses at the time. Meanwhile, in 1906, Alice and her sister purchased a building just down the street at 415 Bloomfield Avenue, where several businesses rented space, including a dentist and a dry goods store. African American migrants continued to grow. Alice recognized a need for women and girls. Thus, she organized a group of women in St. Mark's and Union Baptist Church to form the YWCA for African American women and girls. Her legacy lives on in both St. Mark's and at the Montclair History Center, at the Crane House and historic YWCA. By the way, the History Center was the township's first Black Heritage Trail site approved. Further, in 1916, our newly appointed pastor, Reverend Frederick Handy, was asked to join a group of citizens organizing a chapter of the NAACP. They recognized the need for better education, job training, and housing. Many of Montclair's citizens, from teachers and doctors to service workers and entrepreneurs, worshiped and thrived on the support they found here in this church. So you can imagine how devastating it was when the fire destroyed the building, but that did not hold them back. The old church was 111 years old in 1947. required constant maintenance, and the congregation felt a new building was required. They had already acquired the land around the corner on Elm Street at Fulton, continuing the legacy of St. Mark's, which celebrated its 145th anniversary last November 2025. The original plans for the new St. Mark's were much more elaborate. However, although World War II had ended, materials were scarce. Those plans were revised to a more stately yet minimalist Gothic style. The placement of the Black Heritage Trail signage will remind the congregation about where we've come as we continue to grow and educate the public about who we are and the contributions we've made in this community. This is the signage text approved by the New Jersey Historical Commission's Black Heritage Trail program, but is subject to change following final review and prior to installation by their staff. The history it shares only scratches the surface that tells the pride we have and shared in this town. I have included pictures of the first signage installed in Cape May and the Timbuktu community in West Hampton, New Jersey, to give you an idea of what the signage will look like once installed. It is important to note that the signage also meets ADA legibility standard. And finally, members of the board, these slides represent 145 years of history, Montclair history. We're asking for 14 square feet of space to ensure that and 2 feet in height to ensure that the next 145 years will be remembered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Candy Barnes, do you have anything that you'd like to say?
I would just like to emphasize that I'm just here in my capacity as her attorney, but also to emphasize that this has been approved by the New Jersey State Historical Commission. This is a template that was prepared and designed by them throughout the state of New Jersey. So I think that you should also consider those factors, and it's just not that we are pulling these numbers out of our head, but that they are in compliance with, from a state perspective.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, let's turn first to Mr. Church to see if we have questions.
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Mr. Caulfield?
You know, like, we're discussing our reports going forward for zoning, and I feel like we should think about, you know, revising these types of signs. These are pretty much legitimate signs that a lot of towns have, they're historical signs, and I think that, you know, instead of coming through the board here, it should just be somewhat legitimized in some sense. I'm just saying that we're looking at our reports about revisions, some of the codes and stuff, and that this historical sign you see throughout the state of New Jersey, and that it should just be somewhat, you know, given in the sense that it's you know, two feet square. It's not a lot to show all of what's there. So
Right.
I'm in favor. Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr.
I'll just
Vieira?
note for the record that
I'm sorry.
Ms. Harris has arrived at 7:29.
Mr. Vieira?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. I have a question. So this sign is a standard size and height throughout the state?
Yes, so no matter where you go in the state, you will see a sign exactly like this.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, and just to add to that, there are currently 51 sites that have been approved throughout the state. So no matter whether you're north or in Cape May, there will be various sites and signs around.
And do you know if there's another sign in Montclair, or this will be the first one?
The program wasn't started until 2022, so we have 3 sites that have been approved by the New Jersey Historical Commission: the Montclair History Center, St. Mark's, and the Howe House over on Claremont Avenue. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And Mr. Vieira, I'll just add for some context, we did review the signage for 110 Orange Road, the Montclair History Center, and the Israel Crane House. So they were working on a different dimension than what the actual sign is now. So they'll be coming back hopefully in 2 weeks to get the same approval that this signage is seeking the dimensions for.
And we do collaborate, you know, with our work around this project.
Mr. Cruz?
Good evening. I just had one quick question. We always have to juggle on this board positive criteria versus negative criteria, and I think this application has a lot of positive criteria. And so, just for the record, I would love to hear what the positive criteria is that makes this sign warranting or worthy of getting a variance for the zoning.
Well, first of all, it is not an advertisement, so that is definitely a positive. And also, it is educational. For Montclair, it adds another dimension to why people visit our town, and, that they will, see these markers in and around the area. And it will, teach them more about the history of the people that live here and love this town and the contributions that they have made.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Griffith?
Okay, I can't hear very well, so I'm going to ask you questions that you've already answered. I want to make sure I hear it correctly. Yeah, I all for it, but in order to be all for it, we are going to write a variance, and we're going to have to set a precedent for what we're doing, and I want to frame the precedent really clearly such that, it's appropriate. And I don't think that'll be hard, but you have to help me, okay? So the program that you got this sign on is what's the program called?
The New Jersey Historical Commission's Black Heritage Trail.
Okay. And the typical size of these signs is 14 square feet, is that correct?
Yes.
And the typical...
Would you use the typical or standard?
I'll take either one.
Okay.
Standard size? Or?
Yes, it's the
Okay,
standard
the standard
for the
size
entire
is
state.
14 square feet. This is
Yes.
the standard size that they use. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. And the number, you said they had 51 installations in the state, is that correct?
Yeah, they have approved so far 51.
51 approved.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know how many installations other than the ones I showed you.
This is approved by the program, not necessarily the jurisdiction.
Yes, and
Okay.
I think on the page that you received in the recommendations from the Historical Commission, it is stated on page 5 that the applicant has been approved for signage by the New Jersey Historical Commission's Black Heritage Trail.
Okay.
And that's in the planning report on page 5.
And so, and as you stated before, it is historical in nature and it is educational in nature.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else we could add to that?
Those, as far as my notes were concerned, the questions that you just asked me were two of the most important ones.
Yeah, nothing.
That-
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I believe in your application, you're asking that this signage be staked at 8 feet rather than the required 6?
Well,
Did I
the 8,
understand?
if I can explain how you
Sure.
get 8 feet. If
Sure.
you look at the marker there,
Mhm.
the 8 feet is measured from the top of where the logo is
Okay,
down to the ground level. You see, 3 feet of the pole will be underground, right? So the 8 feet is from the very tip top to the ground level.
to the ground. And that's by nature of the way the sign is made. I mean,
That is the design from the historical commissions that they have settled on, yes.
thank you.
We don't have a choice.
Okay.
Mr. Moore? Mr. Moore? Okay.
Have you shared this with your congregation as of yet, or? Okay.
I have shared it with the executive team of the leadership board. And the announcement was made, and our former lieutenant governor chose our location to highlight for she and the governor when they were celebrating Juneteenth this past June. So if you go to the New Jersey Historical Commission's website and you see the former lieutenant governor there, click on the video and she's going to tell you the story of St. Mark's.
Very nice. Thank you.
Former lieutenant governor.
Former lieutenant governor.
Is that Miss Oliver you're talking about? Oh,
Tanisha
okay.
Way?
Tisha Way, okay, Tanisha Way. Okay, thank you. Anything else?
I thought you were pretty thorough with sharing the information, so thank you.
Ms. Harris? do you-
No question.
So I have just a couple of questions for you to be clear in terms of how this works. So first of all, how was the location of the signage determined? Meaning not the church itself, but I mean, where you actually intend to place it on the property?
A trustee of our church is here. I discussed it with her. Lenore,
If she would like to speak to that, then she'll need to come to a microphone and give her name and address, and then she's welcome to offer a witness.
All right, and you need to be sworn also. Would you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth in the matter pending before the board?
I do.
State your name and address, please.
Lenora Isaac, and I live at 28 Overlook Ave in West Orange. So when we were designated as one of the historic sites, the Black Heritage Trail, Betty came to me as a trustee member and shared, the signage with me, and then asked for the best location for the sign. And so, looking at the property and, thinking of the public and access and everything, the location was chosen that would best suit both the display, both tours that might result from it, and the viewing by the public.
I might add that Ms. Lenore is an engineer by trade. If she wants to share that experience, it might be helpful to the board.
Yes, I'm an engineer, and I have close to 40 years of experience managing construction projects for formerly New Jersey Transit, for rail stations and infrastructure projects for New Jersey Transit, and now I'm a consultant.
So, thank you. So, as we looked at an earlier marker, as we've discussed in this hearing, part of what we looked at is the location of the sign, particularly with respect to the public's ability to interact with the signage. And one of the things that I think Ms. Holloway mentioned in her presentation had to do with the educational value. And so we were talking in that hearing about school kids being able to see the sign. And so that's one of the questions that I sort of have is in terms of the actual location, and then I think there's a slight slope from the sidewalk to where the sign would be. And then I think, Ms. Holloway, you also mentioned that you were sensitive to ADA visibility. And so I just wanted to hear, just in terms of how you've looked at the placement, how comfortable you feel that it meets sort of those interests. That, number one, that once the sign is in place, that anyone who perhaps may be physically impaired would still be able to read the sign, to see it in its completion, as well as its proximity and the sidewalk. If for example, I think there's a school which is close by. So if
Yes,
one of the
public
teachers
school.
wanted to bring school children to see the sign as part of an educational lesson, is there enough space on the sidewalk, between the sidewalk and the signage, for the children to be gathered safely and to be able to?
I think so. And one of the things that Lenora and I talked about was leveling that area that is not, it was landscaped for other plantings, but for the signage, we would clear that particular area. Am I right?
Yes,
Lenore?
yes, we would have landscaping done in conjunction with the installation.
Okay, all right. All right. The other question that I have is that you mentioned that this is one of 3 markers that have been approved. And so we now 2 are in process. And is the Howe House also in process, or it's forthcoming? I'm not sure, but.
Yes, it is, but I'm on the board and I'm not speaking
For that, I
for
understand.
them or with their approval about what is being planned for the signage. But I do know that they are planning to come before you to go through this process
Okay.
as well.
So my question relative to that is, will there be any, how will the community know that these 3 historical markers exist? And is there anything in the design that sort of draws people to visit one and a second and a third?
Well, we do have a collaboration with each of the other, the other 2 sites. Thank you.
Mhm.
2 sites in town. So it will be through coordinated programming that we will inform the public. As a part of the approval process, each site must submit or have a program that is open to the public, that is a free program. And we have done that one program last year at St. Mark's. The History Center also does programs, and they're coordinated through their History at Home program.
Mm-hmm.
And the Howe House is using the Juneteenth celebration as a part of their meeting their program requirements under the legislation.
Okay. So I just would offer as a suggestion, let's put it that way. So it's certainly not an obligation. But since none of the signs are yet in place, whether or not there is a way that the three entities might take a look at something in the lettering that would draw people to the attention that there are three such historical markers that will be in place in Montclair. So that's just something that you may want to look at as a possibility.
Do you know there will be a QR code on the pole?
Okay, so it could be that.
And so that could be something I'm envisioning right now that I can discuss with the Black Heritage Trail program,
Mhm.
that for anyone who scans that QR code, the three sites will pop up.
Okay, that's great.
Yes, I believe Ms. Diggs from the History Center said that the QR code connects to all of the markers, so.
Oh, they do all-
Yeah, I
okay.
think, as they keep growing as well, it'll be continually updated.
So if there are others, eventually those would be
Yeah.
included. Ms. Harris, you had a question? Comment?
I was going to ask if the website lists all of the historic sites that people can
Yes,
visit.
on the homepage for the Black Heritage Trail.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Moore?
Sure. So since this is right across the street from Bullock Elementary School, right, what type of anchors, support systems, will the signage be grounded in case a kid comes over and, you know, kids are kids, right? They may want to hang on it, just want to ensure that it's sturdy.
Yeah, it will be installed with proper foundation, you know, with the concrete anchor and the proper foundation for that signage. In fact, I would be surprised if they didn't have installation standards from the state.
Okay. And right now, the topography does slope a little bit. As you know, we've had this Arctic chill recently, so ice can become very real in the winter. I would assume that this will attract a lot of people. So, I believe you shared in place. Well, what drainage have you thought of, or a slope or leveling, so that in the event, if it rains a lot and then it becomes cold, that if someone walks closely to it, they don't slip on the property?
Yeah, so we are incorporating, as I said, the landscaping to make sure that we provide a safe and level foundation for it, as well as we continually maintain the walks around. We have a contract with a snow removal company that regularly salts and removes the snow and stays ahead of the weather. So we make sure that we maintain the property for safe passage, because we do know that a lot of the school children and families do cut through our property.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Other members of the board with questions? Are there any members of the public that I'm not aware of that have any questions? Okay. Seeing none, hearing none? Yes.
I just had a personal statement that I wanted to
All
read
right,
just
you're
about
welcome.
my involvement at St. Mark's, if that's okay?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening again, members of the board, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. As I stated, my name is Lenore Isaac, and my relationship with St. Mark's spans more than 40 years. I was first introduced to the church in the 1980s when my college roommate invited me to visit. From the moment I walked in, I was warmly welcomed and felt immediately at home. After graduation, when I moved to the area, returning to St. Mark's was a natural step. It became the place where I was baptized as an adult, where I was married, and where our daughter was baptized and continues to serve as a young adult. St. Mark's has been the spiritual foundation for every major chapter of my life. And the friendships and bonds I and my family have formed here have supported us in ways that are immeasurable. St. Mark's is more than a church, it is a faith family. Over the decades, I've been deeply involved in the life of the church, serving in the music ministry, on the board of trustees, teaching Sunday school, and on the social media and AV ministries, as well as with the prison fellowship outreach through Project Angel Tree. I also support our overnight respite program, which provides shelter for our unhoused neighbors during the winter months. These ministries reflect the heart of St. Mark's, service, compassion, and community. My work on several anniversary celebration committees over the years gave me a deeper understanding of our church's historical significance. I had the privilege of working with our historians and being entrusted with members' treasured historic photographs, programs, and newspaper articles. What stood out most were the personal narratives of families who came to Montclair during the Great Migration, many from the South, and found stability, community, and spiritual grounding at St. Mark's. Generations were baptized, raised, married, and went on to raise their families within this church. Their stories are woven into the history of Montclair. St. Mark's has also played a vital role in the broader community. Many organizations that have shaped Montclair either began at St. Mark's or partnered with us over the years, including the YWCA, the NAACP, Home Corps, and United Methodist Communities. We've also shared a very positive relationship with the Board of Ed. Today, we continue that legacy, partnering with Tony's Kitchen to host a free pop-up food market twice a month, and by leasing our fellowship hall to provide overnight respite for the unhoused during the winter. St. Mark's is not just a church, it's a cultural anchor, a historical cornerstone, and a place where generations of Black families have found belonging, leadership, and community. Its story is inseparable from the story of Montclair. To this day, I continue to encounter new people who have a history of either growing up in St. Mark's or attending events there. The state of New Jersey has recognized St. Mark's significance in the Black heritage of Montclair and in New Jersey. For these reasons, I respectfully urge the board to approve the Black Heritage Trail signage installation for St. Mark's United Methodist Church. Recognizing this site ensures that the history, contributions, and legacy of St. Mark's are preserved and honored for future generations long after our work here is done. I thank you for your consideration.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Now we're going to move towards the board offering final comments and voting. Ms. Holloway, Ms. Candy Barnes, do you have anything else that you'd like to say before we begin this process?
No, thank you.
I don't know if your microphone is on.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to a favorable response.
All right. Anything? Okay, go ahead.
Nothing.
All right, let's turn first to Mr. Church.
Chairman, I have no problem with this. I think these are things that, you know, it enhances the township. It also enhances your community, it enhances all communities within Montclair because it becomes a knowledge base that others can share. St. Mark's has always been a very open congregation. I've been to several events there myself, and I think that this is just one thing that will enhance the community's knowledge and appreciation of St. Mark's. So I would vote in favor of this application.
Thank you. Mr. Caulfield?
I'm in favor.
All right, Mr. Vieira?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm also in favor of the application. I think this is a great initiative, and thank you for the thorough presentation. I'm looking forward to seeing the 3 signs here in Montclair.
Mr. Cruz?
I'm also in support of the application. I very, very much appreciate, again, like I mentioned earlier, the positive criteria, because a number of applicants come here before this board for varying different reasons. And so having, describing non-advertising, cultural significance, historic significance, educational significance, these are the types of reasons that are worthy of granting a variance. And so, thank you for being here, and I am in support of the application.
Mr. Griffith?
I'm in favor of it, though I frame it with the parameters that I'm in favor of the sign because it's from a specific program that you identified earlier. It has a specific standard size that program has used. The height of it is also, I assume, standard, but I want to talk about the height. And it's historical and educational, which is both credible to our community. I am a little concerned about the 8-foot height, and so I suggest that it might be, I don't know that anybody else will agree with me, but you test the height either somewhere between 7 foot and 8 foot on the site. Like, you can either take a piece of cardboard out there and look at it, or you can take the real sign out there and just dig the hole a little deeper and evaluate for yourself in person what the right height is. Because doing it abstractly, like, I'm an architect, I look at this stuff all the time, and I still don't understand it as well as I should, okay? But if you mock it up and you stand next to it in real size, in the real place, you can have a much better understanding of what you're doing. And I'm suggesting that you select a height somewhere between 7 and 8 feet that is the best height for the sign based on your judgment when you mock it up.
We can definitely do a mock-up prior to installation.
Yeah, thank you. I'm in favor.
Mr. Moore?
I'm in favor of this application. St. Mark's Methodist Church is a true pillar and cornerstone in the Montclair community, and the congregation and the church have really made a tremendous contribution, not only to this town, but the state and in general, I guess, the folks that they've have touched. But in looking at the Montclair Historical Preservation Commission, it reads, the commission found that the proposal historic landmark sign is appropriate for the site and consistent with similar state-installed Black Heritage Trail markers, and that the requested variance for sign height and area are justified by the height's educational and historic purpose. And that's significant because we want not only pedestrians who are walking by to be able to see signage, but also if you're driving by and you don't have to squint and it's, you know, it's at a safe visibility as well as ADA compliant, so that's important. And then lastly, with the Montclair Historic Preservation Commission, it says the commission expresses strong support for the proposal and did not have any advisory comments or recommendations. So I'm in favor of it, and I've seen similar landmarks, historical landmarks throughout my travels, and Martha's Vineyard also has something very similar as well that they're working on. So I'm sure that that this is being done all over. So I'm in favor.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Harris?
I'm not sure if I'm,
You're not eligible to vote, but you
Okay.
can still give us your
Yes.
okay.
sentiments.
I'm also in favor of this application. I just wanted to clarify the kind of dimensions and the mounting height of the sign. Is that a requirement based on the program, or was that selected by?
the state.
Okay, so that's a requirement of the state of the program that the markers are.
But the legislation that was passed in 2022.
Okay, so it
For this-
explicitly says it needs to be at the 8-foot height.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you just said?
So the legislation states that the sign needs to be mounted at 8 feet?
That it would be consistent
Okay.
throughout the state.
Okay, and that's the height?
And that's, yes, what they came up with.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to clarify that you don't have a lot of leeway in terms of how you mount the sign.
No, we don't.
Okay, okay. But I think it's great that, Montclair is home to possibly three of these signs. I think, it just speaks to our history, and it's something that, as a community, we can all be proud of.
I'm also in favor of this application. I think that it's important to note that this zoning board is particularly keen, I think, about, as Mr. Moore has suggested, the historical character and the culture of this community. And your presentation has served to remind us, Ms. Harris, I'm sorry you weren't able to be with us at the very beginning, but to hear that this church, which is being recognized, precedes Montclair itself. So the history is really quite remarkable, and the enduring value and contributions of the congregation, and not just as a worshiping congregation, but also as a community vestige, meaning that support of YMCA and YWCA activities and many other similarly devised programs of community and social activity and empowerment. So I think it's important that this signage marks this location, as you've noted, and draws attention to it, because I think it enhances the value of our community itself, and reminds not only the current generation, but future generations of the community from whence we've come and what we need to be able to protect as we continue to so-called develop as a community. So I'm in favor of the application as well, and ready to receive a motion from the board.
I make a motion to approve this application.
Is there a second? All right.
Who was the second?
Mr. Church? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
It is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we have just one last item on our agenda, and that is a discussion about the 2025 annual report. We'll turn to our secretary to guide us through this, please.
Yes, so I put this on. There's nothing to review at this moment. I will have the matrix and map for you for the next meeting, but I know we started the discussion at our last meeting of what we would like to include as we were approving the 2023 report, 2024 report, what we would like to include as more substantial recommendations for our next round. So if anyone wanted to kick off the discussion, I know maybe the historic marker sign is something we talked about. We've talked about ADUs. And then if anyone wanted to go more into detail about what we approved from our last report or expand on it, open the floor to you all.
Okay. All right, thank you. Our next meeting is scheduled for?
Our current next meeting
Yes.
is February 18th, 2026, 7 p.m.
Yeah. So I just want to just as a reminder, because it is a different sort of reality for us as a zoning board, that we did take an action to change our meeting time to 7 o'clock. So, you know, we may, from time to time, sort of be a little off kilter in terms of that process, but we'll get there. Don't be concerned about it. But 7 o'clock is the time that we will be meeting in order for us to be able to conclude, hopefully at a more reasonable hour. So, all right. Is there anything else for the good of the order? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, and then, Ms. Harris, I believe you missed this, but for this application, 2932 120 Watchung Avenue, a few of them have been carried to March 25th, but we have decided to hold a special meeting on March 4th at 7 p.m. just for that application. So if you're able to attend, I believe we have a forum either way, but we'd love to have you there.